Good night, fellow punchers. The clock on the wall says 11:15, burning the midnight oil. Bit later than I had planned, but I went to Ballinrobe. Didn't wait for the bumper, but the day it was an up and down day in all ways for me. I was to mow the lawn this morning because I'm away next week. It was mist and I had other jobs to do around the house. Got that done. Put out the lawnmower then about 12:30. Broke the cord. So that ended that. And then it started raining anyway. Headed for Ballinrobe. I was just going in outside Castlereagh, nearly in Ballinlaw. So I put on the phone for the 3:20 race. Looked over, no phone, no glasses. Had to turn and come back because I said I must have left them at the house. I had to find out, or else did I leave them on the top of the car or what? I don't know. I never did that boo before, but got to Ballinrobe. Missed the first race. Well, when I was going in, they were just starting. Traffic was brutal. That's what I was trying to avoid on the way. There's an awful junction there going in from the Claremorris end. Only had the one bet and didn't do any good. Danny Gilligan's ride in the 7:07. I met a few shrewdies when I went in, and they were saying that's the one I was interested in going over. I put it up on the, but it ran, I don't know, terrible. When I put up last night, a day in Devon, Cosmo Renfro, Catch him, Derry, and Grand Providence. And I changed off two of them, and them two won. I put in Daddy the Great then. I didn't see that. He mustn't have stayed. I seen that he was finished 7th or something. Cost me the place spot actually, that he didn't even finish in the first 4. And all the rest I had actually had them as winners in the place spot. So it cost me a good few pound. And Cosmo Renfro, when he didn't go out in front, I said he mustn't be trying today, and he came from the back. I couldn't get over the other horse, how weak he finished after being so strong the last day. So a day in Devon, a very good little 3-year-old, will win on that again too. I wasn't too long in there, and Ezra, a young fellow from Headford, I met him before. He spotted me and he came over and he chatted. He heading for Galway tonight drinking. He's heading over to Amsterdam in the morning. His girlfriend works over there, so he's looking forward to 8 days over there on the beer and other things as well, I suppose. I'll get out of the way and I'll get on to tomorrow because of an early start of a C course in Athlone tomorrow. It starts 8:30, so I'll have to be gone before 7:30. I'd forgot about that, but I couldn't cancel it because I need to get them done. The 4 o'clock at Bangor tomorrow. At 6-1, they're paying 4 place. I think it's a rock solid each way bet. Elle Est Beau for the skeletons. He sends, I think he has 3 going there tomorrow. I thought this was the best chance he had. It's back to 2 miles 3. It should have won, or it might have won, the day in Sandown in the end of January, and it fell at the last. It seems to be well handicapped. He was upsides, wasn't he, that day? Led throughout, narrow advantage when it fell at the last. Rated 96. It didn't stay the last day, I thought, the distance. It was a 3-mile race in Wincanton. Draw 5-2 favourite. That's one for Bangor. There's a mile race in Newbury tomorrow. We were on Thunder Ball in the Lincoln, and it was out in front going well, and it fell in a heap. Now, the very same thing happened to it last year on its first run. It was 14th of 17, beating 26 lengths, and it came back and won by 4 lengths next time out. Now, that was way down the ratings, but the last day he was going all right. We'll have a look at it because there's another horse I'm going to mention. We'll have a look at this race. He was out in front there, and he seemed to get tired or something. He was wandering a bit, or drunk or something.
Night Thunder leads the
That's
Lincoln
him
field
here.
on the near side from the gatekeeper.
I'll keep an
Mr.
eye on this
Professor
horse as
over on
well.
the far side, chased hard now by Thunderball, and then Chaz Esme's keeping on in the closing stage as they come up to the final furlong. It's Mr. Professor and David Egan, though, who've got a 2 lengths advantage inside the final furlong. Chaz Esme and Latam battling on, Navajo staying on, but Mr. Professor has got this all worked out, and Mr. Professor is storming home to take the Lincoln for David Egan and Dominic French Davis. Latam second, then Navajo, followed home by
Navajo ran on well on his first run for James Horton. James Horton hasn't had a winner since last October, but he's changed yards. He's only had 1 or 2 runners, I think. But Navajo on his first run back, that was eye-catching. The horse in that race as well, Spirit Genie, I tipped it up recently and it didn't run. Where's it running tomorrow? It's in the Curragh. I'll go back to that first. We'll look at the betting. Thunderball was an 8-1 and 10-1 shot there earlier. I'm betwixt and between Thunderball and the running on. That was eye-catching by Navajo, but I think he might need another furlong. But as I said, the other one is running in the Curragh tomorrow, and Shamie Heffernan is riding it. It's an 8-1 shot. They're paying 5 places, a lot of the bookies. And it's only a 4-year-old, and it likes the ground. Earls is in it as well. Best luck to Martin Sheridan. Martin, if you're listening and watching, tell us what you think of the chances tomorrow. But Spirit Genie, after that run, and they're sending it over for an 18,000 pot. Mr. Rango won the last day, so he's gone up a few pound. I think it's worth an each way bet. It's 6s there with Spirit, or what do you call it, 365, but it's 8s with the green bookie there, because I backed it there when I came in. On to Ayr tomorrow. Best luck to the Scottish folk on their big day. I had this picked out last night. Sharjah at 12-1, and there's money for there, and it's into 5-1 with a good few. And it was 14-1, I think, as well. But first time in a handicap, first time beyond 2.5 mile. It'll be shit or burst, one or the other. But if you look at it, a Galway hurdle winner. I remember I was on it that day. When did they win the Galway hurdle? Am I dreaming? No. 2018. I don't know. It was it? No, I'm wasting time. But it's behind in grade 1, grade 1, behind. Like if you look at it, it's only 3 lengths behind 550 that day. And it rained. We actually took on Found 50 that day. Now, it has won on soft before. I prefer if the ground was drier, but I thought when they were paying 4 places last night at 12-1 and 14-1, that is an each way play, it's 6-1 the field. The 225, the Scottish hurdle. The form says that it's Low de Sud after being second in the county hurdle to Absurd. It's gone up £3 for that, and the Skelton will have been targeting that. There's over 50 grand. Like that's 100,000 of a difference. There was over 50 that day in the county hurdle. If Skelton had won it, Mullins would be that much behind. I would be surprised to see Bialystok running well tomorrow. That was going well the day in Leopardstown. We were on it and it was brought down on the rail. And I read somewhere afterwards that Townend said he'd have won it that day if he had been left alone. It ran terrible, but was heavy ground in the county hurdle as well. But Loda stood 56,000 sterling for the winner. The 3 o'clock. Mullins has a few there, but like if he didn't win the Grand National, they wouldn't be running here this week. They'd be going to Punchestown the week after next. So they'd have another week's training and another couple of gallops. Will they be a bit short? I don't know. But that Coco Mademoiselle, I don't think it stayed. What am I thinking about that? Yeah, I don't think it stayed the time before over 3 miles, then brought back and trip. It won handy enough, all right, in novice hurl. But it came to the second last in Ascot that day in February. I just fell in a hole, so it looked like an on-stayer. But one that looked like that it had relished the step up and trip is Larchmont Lass. And Skelton, you'd imagine, would have been aiming for this pot. The last day it ran in the Grade 2 final. It ran on well. If anyone wants to have a look at that, I haven't time to sort of play it now. That'll be the selection of that race, Larchmont Lass. In the Scottish Grand National, a horse that done us a good turn was Git Maker. There's money for his 10s into 6s. The reason for that being is it's only up £1 for running I Know the Way You're Thinking in Cheltenham, and 'twas bet be 8 lengths, but 'twas 18 lengths back to the next horse. He only went up £1, but since then I Know the Way You're Thinking has won Grade 1. Lightly enough raced. I think the good ground in Ascot that day was a Guinness. We were on it in Lingfield in November, and then it ran in December, the day before Christmas Eve. But the good ground, it ran didn't run well at all, but soft ground the last day. Jumped well enough, and it's only carrying 10 stone 3. We were on Mr. Incredible in the Grand National last week. He jumped all right. He jumped off because he has a habit of not jumping off at times. But he jumped all right, but he jumped up on the back of a faller. But he didn't stop the race then, like. He jumped every fence, I think bar one after that. But the horse that I was very keen on for last March 12 months in Cheltenham after winning first time out was Ballygrifincottage. It was 20s yesterday. And Skelton, you imagine, would have been targeting this race. It's a 9-year-old. I remember I think we put it into, when do we back at that day? Oh, when it beat Beauport. It hosed up that day. But its best run sort of was the last day. It seems to be improving back to the form that was shown. I had that marked out yesterday as an each way bet at 20-1. There is money for it. Now, it is the Grand National, so there was my 2 that I had picked last night. And there were 10s and 20s at the time, and now there are 6s and 14s. The 410, there's a horse there that we backed the last day, and it looked all over a winner. It's a big prize tomorrow. Domore Bay. And we've seen that video a couple of nights ago because, gosh, how Posh had ran in that race, but it was pulled out of the race then yesterday or the day before. But at a big price, I'd seen that at 16-1. I was saying that might go all right tomorrow. Mullins should win the last 2. He's on Quay de Bourbon, which was in the Martin Pipe. It was third to Better Days Ahead. It's an odds-on shot there. And a horse that he ran in the bumper, the Cheltenham bumper, is Fav in the last. It'd be interesting to see, are they putting up a book tomorrow for Manny he'd win? I'd say he could have 4 tomorrow. Say to chance. That was down the field in the 13th. But on his previous run to that good horse, O'Connell's, William Money's only beaten a short head. So it has form in the book, as they say. If I forgot anything, on the coffee break tomorrow around 10 o'clock, I might stick it in. I'll try and get this into the oven as quick as possible before people go to bed. Bash the bookies, over and out.